Iawn, diolch yn fawr pan da, mae'n 2 o'r gloch a croeso i'r cyfarfod o'r Cabinet pan yma. Good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock, so welcome to this afternoon's meeting of the Cabinet of Neath Talbot. I'm Councillor Alan Llewellyn, Deputy Leader of Neath Talbot Council, and I'll be chairing today's meeting of Cabinet in the absence of the Leader, who's got another appointment. Agenda item 2 is Chair's announcements. Welcome to members of the public or press viewing the meeting. Please ensure your microphone is switched off, as you are here to observe the meeting only. Members and officers, please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting and your microphones are switched to mute unless you are speaking. In addition, when asked to raise your hand, if members who are virtually attending this meeting could raise your electronic hand, and for members physically present, just raise your hand in the chamber. Agenda item 3, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? Please remember say what the items are and what the interest is. Councillor Scott Jones, I think there's one item.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Leader. It's in relation to item 13, the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. I'm a trustee of Croesero Athletic Football Club, and at such time that the items before the Cabinet, I'll be declaring and leaving the meeting. Thank you.
I see no other indications. Agenda item 4, minutes from the previous meeting of Cabinet held on 29th of May 2024. I refer you to pages 5 to 10 of your agenda pack. The minutes are here for approval of accuracy. Members, any comments? See no indication. I propose if we could have a seconder, please.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I would assume that you are content with the accuracy of those minutes. Nadine, can you confirm?
Yeah, I can confirm the minutes have been approved, Chair.
Thanks very much. Agenda item 5, the Forward Work Programme. The Forward Work Programme is on pages 11 to 28 and is here for noting. Agenda item 6, public question time. I have received no notifications from the public to speak at today's meeting. Agenda item 7, revenue outturn and reserves position statement 2023 to 2024. The report is on pages 29 to 40 and is here for monitoring. It's Mr. Hugh Jones's report. Hugh, do you have anything further to add?
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. So this is the end of year outturn report for the 23-24 financial year. Very pleased to be able to report to Cabinet that we ended up with a £940,000 underspend against a budget of £361 million. So that represents a 0.3% underspend. You'll see from the report various ups and downs within the various service directorates as each director manages the budget within their cash limit. In terms of the underspend, that's been transferred into specific reserves within education and environment to fund existing commitments. As you say, Chair, the report is for monitoring and happy to take any questions. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr, Hugh. Are there any questions from members? I don't see any indications. We note it's a monitoring report, so we will note it this afternoon. Agenda item 8, capital budget monitoring report 2023 to 24, and the report is on pages 41 to 52 and is here for monitoring. Again, it's Mr. Hugh Jones's report. Anything further to add?
Just to note, Chair, that the report details capital expenditure of £39 million against a revised budget of £45 million. There are some significant achievements detailed within the report. Obviously, as the years progress, the actual capital budget has reduced due to some slippages which have been reported to the various Cabinet meetings throughout the year. But as you say, Chair, the report is for monitoring, and again, happy to take any questions. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr, Hugh. Any questions from members? I don't see any indications, so we'll note the monitoring report and move on to the next item, agenda item 9, which again is Hugh's report. Annual Treasury Management Outturn Report 2023 to 2024 on pages 53 to 66, and it is here for monitoring. Hugh, anything to add?
Yeah, just again, Chair, obviously this report is very technical in its nature. It details the end of year Treasury management position, including our prudential indicators. The format of the report is set out in legislation, which is why it's so technical. But again, Chair, I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you. Diolch.
Diolch yn fawr. Members, are there any questions? I don't see any, so we'll note that report. And the next item is agenda item 10, Neath Talbot Welsh Church Act Trust Fund. Hugh, if you can address the report, but it's on pages 67 to 86, and this one is here for decision. Do you have anything to add to the report?
Just to set out the fact that this is, again, the end of year report for the Welsh Church Act Trust Fund, Chair. Details expenditure and income during the year, showing that the actual closing value of the fund has increased from £688,000 to 712 due to increased income due to improved interest rates during the year, Chair. So, as you say, the report is for decision, and I'm happy to take questions, Chair. Thank you. Diolch.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from members? I don't see any questions indicated, so I now refer members to the recommendations on page 68 of your agenda pack. I will propose, could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Wyndham. Are there any abstentions? Don't see any. So, members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I would assume that you are in favour of the recommendations, and Nadine will confirm.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm the report has been approved.
Thank you very much. I'm just trying to get my screen back on. The next item, item 11, miscellaneous grant fund application. The report is on pages 87 to 92 of your agenda pack and is here for decision again. Hugh, do you have anything further to add to this report?
Yep, thank you, Chair. So, as members will be aware, the Council does run a small miscellaneous grant scheme, and the eligibility criteria are set out on page 87 and 88 of the report. We have received an application from the British Red Cross, who we have supported previously, Chair. But on this occasion, they provided no detail as to what specific support will be provided in the county borough. As members will know, British Red Cross are an international charity with substantial funds. So due to these reasons, I'm proposing at this point in time that the application is rejected, Chair, on this occasion. Thank you.
Diolch yn fawr, Hugh. Thank you, Hugh. Do members have any questions? I don't see any questions indicated, so I now refer members to the recommendations on page 89 of the pack. I will propose, and if I could have a seconder, please.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Wyndham. Any abstentions? There are none indicated. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations, and Nadine will confirm.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and can confirm that the report has been approved.
Diolch yn fawr. Agenda item 12, Hugh will have a rest now. It's an education report. School term dates 2026 to 2027. The report was on pages 93 to 98 of your agenda pack and is here for decision. The Director of Education, Mr. Andrew Thomas, is here. Do you have anything further to add, Andrew?
No, not really, Chair. It's a straightforward report. We've consulted on term dates as required. There were no adverse comments. So the recommendation for members is to approve the dates so that we can submit them to Welsh ministers for 2026-27 academic year.
Diolch yn fawr, Andrew. I now refer members to the recommendations. Oh, sorry, are there any questions for members? No, I don't. Oh, Councillor Leah Jenkins?
Thank you. No, just to give my thanks to the officers that did this. They were under additional strain this year with the proposal from the Welsh Government that the school term dates change. So it was quite time consuming trying to get this in. So my thanks to them.
Oh, diolch yn fawr, Nia. Thanks for those comments. I now refer members to the recommendations on page 95 of your agenda pack. I will propose, could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr, Wyndham. Are there any abstentions? I don't think so. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations, and Nadine will confirm.
I see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm the report has been approved.
Diolch yn fawr, thank you very much. Agenda item 13, the UK Shared Prosperity Fund, approval of projects. We received the interests declared earlier on. The report is on pages 99 to 110 of your agenda pack and is here for decisions. Mr. Andrew Collins is covering the report. Andrew, do you have anything further to add? Diolch yn fawr. Members, are there any questions? I don't see any. I now refer members to the recommendations on page 108 to 109 of your agenda pack. I will propose, and if I could have a seconder, please.
Happy to second, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr. Are there any abstentions? Don't see any. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations, and Nadine will confirm.
I see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that the report has been approved.
Thank you very much. Agenda item 14, the proposed future use of the old Neath Library building in Neath. The report is on pages 111 to 224 of your agenda pack and is here for decision. Andrew, I think you're covering this report again. Do you have anything further to add? Members, do you have any questions? Yeah, Councillor Ken Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to welcome the report. The old Neath Library building is obviously a significant and much loved landmark building in the town centre, and I'd like to welcome the identification of a new role for the building and hope that it can take its place and play its part in helping to regenerate that part of the town. And I'd just like to add my thanks to everyone involved in producing the report. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments, Ken. I see no further questions, so I now refer members to the recommendations on page 116 of your agenda pack. I will propose, could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Wyndham. Any abstentions? No. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're in favour of the recommendations.
I see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that the report has been approved.
Thank you, Nadine. Agenda item 15, list of approved contractors. The report is on pages 225 to 238 of your agenda pack and is here for decision. Is it Mr. David-Griffiths that's covering the report?
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Oh, I can see Dave on screen now, thank you.
Yes.
Do you have anything further to add?
No, routine report, Chair, just adding and removing contractors from the list. So it's straightforward, thanks.
Thanks very much. Any questions for members? No, I don't think so. I now refer members to the recommendations on page 227 of your agenda pack. I will propose, could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Diolch yn fawr. Any abstentions? There are none. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that the report has been approved.
Thank you very much. Agenda item 16, advertisement of various traffic regulation orders associated with the Council's Capital Programme 2024 to 2025 and Welsh Government's Grant Funded Programme of Work 2024 to 2025. The report is on pages 239 to 256 of the agenda pack and is here for decision. I think David is covering this again. Do you have any further to add?
No, nothing to add, Chair, other than to say if there are any objections to the advertisements, then they will be brought back before the Cabinet for decision. Thanks.
Thanks very much. Members, any questions? No, none indicated. I now refer members to the recommendations on pages 243 to 244 of the agenda pack. I propose, and if I could have a seconder, please.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Wyndham. Any abstentions? There are none. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that the report has been approved.
Diolch yn fawr. Agenda item 17. The C250 from Cymer to Glencorrwg and Cymer Road, Glencorrwg, revocation and 40 mile an hour speed limit order 2024. The report is on pages 257 to 270 of your agenda pack and is here for decision. Members, are there... Oh, sorry, Mr. David Griffiths again. Do you have anything further to add?
No, nothing specific to add on this particular item, but may I suggest, Chair, that items 17, 18, 19 and 20 are all routine traffic regulation orders. They've been through due process. The local members are all supportive of the implementation of the changes, so you may wish to work through those promptly if that helps, Chair.
Thanks very much. And subject to Craig's advice, if you can take items 17, 18 and 19 and 20 as together. Mr. Griffiths has nothing to add. Do members have any questions on any of those items? I don't see any indications. So I will propose that they are all accepted for decision. Is there a...
Happy to second, Chair.
There we are, thank you. Any abstentions? I see none. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that the reports have been approved.
Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr. Agenda item 21, procurement of a regional alliance agreement for substance use services. Beg your pardon. The report is on pages 317 to 344 of your agenda pack and is here for decision. We have two officers covering the report this afternoon, Shelley Howard and Angharad Gasso. Welcome to the meeting. Do you have anything further to add?
No, just to explain that we came in November with an outline business case for the development of a regional alliance. This is the second stage where we ask permission for Neath Talbot to undertake a procurement exercise on behalf of those APB statutory organisations to establish an alliance model. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, do you have any questions? I don't see any indicated. I'll just say a few words about this item, and to thank Shelley and Angharad and the team for the work that's been undertaken here. As mentioned, members will recall that we approved a business plan approach last year, and this is the outcome of the discussions arising from that plan. It's a succinct report, but I know the tremendous amount of work that it entailed across such a wide range of agencies. There is a great deal still to be achieved in its implementation, but this is a major step forward in a field where all agencies are grappling with a very complex situation. And we are all aware of the high level of harm an unacceptable level of substance and drug-related deaths in Swansea and Neath Talbot, the area covered by the report. And because of its complexity, I draw attention to the integrated impact assessment, which is attached and which is particularly important to this report. So I would now like to refer members to the recommendations on page 323 of the agenda pack. I'm happy to propose. Could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Wyndham. Any abstentions? None are indicated. And members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that the report has been approved.
Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very much. Agenda item 22, supporting parents in and leaving care. The report is on pages 345 to 364 of your agenda pack and is here for decision. Kerry Warren is here covering the report. Do you have anything further to add?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chair. So this is asking Neath Talbot Council to sign up to a charter that's been put together following a piece of research by academics with voices from Care Cymru. So they are care experienced young people that have gone on to be parents. So it's been a significant piece of work across the country, and local authorities that have signed up are doing so to show their support to care experienced youngsters and the need for them to be able to have this charter. So something has been written down that reflects their views in their own language and shows what's important to them when they become parents. But I will bring in Vic Smith, who is Principal Officer for Looked After Children, who will be able to add a little bit more, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Chair. As Kerry's already outlined, it is about supporting parents in and leaving care. So just to put the context around it for you, so from January 2021, Dr. Louise Roberts, along with Dr. Manny and Rachel Vaughan, we've been working on a funded impact project, and it has been about challenging stigma, discrimination and poor outcomes for young people in and leaving care. And as part of this project, they have drawn on research that Dr. Roberts has done over a long period of time. And as Kerry said, that has been working with care experienced young adults really and partner organisations. So as Kerry's already said, Voices from Care have been involved, NIAS, who are strong advocate supporters, and Trosgynno Plant, so TCP Cymru, and then they've worked together to produce this best practice charter with resources for practitioners to work alongside. There's an awful lot of information included in that, and as Kerry said, this is about wide research. Is not something that we have written as Neath Talbot. We've been asked to sign up to that along with other local authorities. So in the information, there's a map across Wales, and most local authorities now across Wales have signed up to this charter, which we think is based on good practice guidance. So it's something that they are trying to get out through the whole of Wales so that there's a consistent approach in supporting young people in these situations.
Thanks very much to Kerry and Victoria for that additional information. Members, any questions? Cabinet Member, Councillor Sian James.
I'd just like to encourage my fellow Cabinet members to endorse the report because, again, it's another measure that our officers are putting in place for preventative measures. The work that our officers are doing to prevent things, and this is again underpinning that. So I just hope that everybody will endorse it. Can I also say that as Kerry and Vic have already pointed out, we have brought this charter through corporate parenting, which is a panel that I chair, and we have discussed it in corporate parenting. And just for everybody to be aware that the wording that has been used has been endorsed by the young people themselves, by the looked after parents. So if the young care experienced parents are happy with the wording, then I'm 100% happy with the wording. So I'm more than happy to endorse this charter. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Sian, for those comments. I don't see any other comments. What I will just mention, although it's not directly related to the item, I'd just like to repeat the congratulations that have previously been given to Kerry and the whole of the Children's Services team for the excellent documentary that's been broadcast recently, giving a real insight into the valuable work undertaken by the services. And I'm sure that the director, Andrew Jagat, and all colleagues are very, very proud of the reflection that's given of the department's work there.
Absolutely, Chair, and thank you very much for your comments.
Thanks very much for that. I now refer members to the recommendations on page 347 of the agenda pack. I propose, and could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Thanks very much, Wyndham. Any abstentions? I don't see any. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendation.
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, and confirm that that report has been approved.
Thank you very much. Agenda item 23, Western Bay Adoption Service, WBAS, Quality of Service Report, March 2024. The report is on page 365 to 410 and is here for information. Andrew, do you have anything further to add?
Not particularly, Chair, other than to say that it's a statutory requirement that we bring such a report, which relates to the regional work that the adoption service do, to the council's view, and so I endorse this report, which gives you the overview of the activity over the past year.
Thanks very much. Any questions by members?
No, I just like to say, if anybody hasn't read it, it's not a hard read. It's lovely little things in there that perhaps you wouldn't know, because we don't really talk about adoption all the time. It's not something that comes up in meetings like roads and schools. The work that they do is fantastic, and I think it's one of those things historically, if you've got a view on adoption, some of the things that they do now, like the name changing, they try and encourage people not to change names. And the work that they do with birth parents and adoptive parents. I went to a conference the other day again, and I'm afraid sort of the tissues came out. But it's just lovely to see how they actually work, so that the birth mothers don't get forgotten, and the story work that goes on, so that these children get a better chance in life. So they're not, when they're older, wondering and worrying where they come from, what's happened. They've got that story there. So again, it's preventative measures that we're putting in place to make sure our children are safe, looked after, and they have all the information they need. So thank you.
Diolch yn fawr, Sian. Thanks for those additional comments. Therefore, we note the information report. Agenda item 24, the agenda items, there are none. Agenda item 25, access to meetings. The access to meetings report is on pages 411 to 416 of your reports pack. And the resolution is to resolve to exclude the public for the following items pursuant to Regulation 4.3 and 5 of the Statutory Instrument 2001 number 2290 and paragraph 14 of Part 4 of Schedule 12A to the Local Government Act 1972. I propose that we move into private session. Could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Wyndham. Any abstentions? There are none. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of moving into private.
Just to confirm, Chair, that the meeting is stopped recording